light that would have been used that night.
So if it was a balloon in the sky, what approximately do you think the altitude was of this object?
Well, from the famous photograph of the Battle of Los Angeles, the object looks like it's about 2,000 feet in the air.
Okay, so we have an object, maybe a balloon, at 2,000 feet in the air, and you have a .50 caliber bullet that's firing at it. Why didn't they hit it? It's just a balloon, right?
I don't know that I have an answer for you.
So now that we've seen one of the actual gun batteries, it's time to start running some tests to see if we can replicate the photo. I think in the desert, we have plenty of room to do our tests. So our first test is the artifact test. An artifact is actually an optical illusion. Some people theorize that in this particular photo, what was happening is these searchlights are combining to create what looks like a solid object in the sky when there really wasn't one. It'd be really cool, once we get our lights up, to see if we can create that same looking solid object when there's really no object at all.
And we want to do 2,000 feet in altitude. We can set up our lights in a half circle, 2,000 feet out. When we angle our beams properly, I think we're going to be able to converge right above this point.
We need to get the lights out and set before we get started.
I got the
Let's
lights
go.
in the truck.
Okay.
Hey guys, these babies are the latest in portable searchlight technology. They have the same color temperature and luminosity as our World War II carbon arcs, except for obviously they're a lot smaller.
Compact.
Exactly.
This is so much better because at least the two of you can handle that. All right, guys, got that one in place. Let's move on to the next one.
So for this test, we've set up 8 searchlights. I would love to shoot some anti-aircraft artillery, but of course FAA won't allow that, so let's reduce the scale, which means to keep the same angles, we're gonna have to move the lights all in as well.
So we bring everything in closer, we bring our artifact lower, and then we shoot
And then we
it.
have a war from 1942. You guys ready?
If we're gonna match the original photograph, we need to add smoke in the sky to simulate the anti-aircraft shells detonating around the convergence point. We're moving all the searchlights in a little bit closer. We're bringing our convergence point down, so that way we can meet FAA restrictions and actually fire our own flak into the sky and create a wall of smoke. All right, Gerald, all the lights are in place.
Yes, I see that. And you guys are ready to go with your big guns.
We've got this grenade launcher. And we have the shotgun shooting bird bombs. So this is gonna put that smoke up in the sky and it'll give us a more defined artifact in the middle.
All right, good luck, guys.
All right, Gerald, we are loaded and we are ready.
Copy that. I'm gonna count you down.
And 3, 2, 1. Fire!
So we have a latex rubber balloon which is made of the same material that they would have had in 1942.
We slowly let it out, and then we shoot around the balloon. Now we're gonna see what it looks like.
And 3, 2, 1. Fire!
Yeah! That was great! The weather balloon is just completely slightly glowing.
Yeah, and you know what else I love about this, guys? The smoke and the balloon, it seems to actually have stopped some of those beams from going through. There are a faint couple that are still pushing through there, but it's better. The question is, how did these guys not get this thing down after 1,440 rounds of fire?
Let's say they hit it with at least one bullet. How long did it take for it to come down?
I think that we should just shoot this thing and see what happens.
You want to see my true marksmanship?
Yes!
That's what you're saying. You
Yes!
want to see what I can do?
Yes.
Okay. So our weather balloon test confirms that the combination of searchlights, smoke, and an 8-foot weather balloon come a lot closer to matching the original photograph. However, those lights that were not blocked by that balloon continued right on through the convergence point. Therefore, it wasn't an exact match. Our World War II experts said that of the 1,440 rounds that were shot that night, the majority were .50 caliber. I'm going to take a .50 caliber machine gun and I'm going to shoot at this weather balloon to see what happens and how fast it will come down.
Oh my
God, look at this thing.
This is an actual .50 caliber machine gun. The same type that was used in 1942. Now we know a .50 caliber round is eventually going to bring a balloon down. What we want to know is how. This is Howard, he's our weapons specialist, and what we've done is mounted this on this lift, and I'll be taking this up 50 feet in the air, shooting from about 600 feet away, and we'll see what happens.
The really big thing about this test, you guys, is that whether or not this balloon is going to pop or not, or if it's going to deflate. So I've got a stopwatch here. We'll be able to time how long it takes for the balloon to drop from 40 feet down to the ground. We'll be able to calculate, using those numbers, how long it would have taken in the original photograph for the balloon to drop.
Ben, this is your badass moment. Do it.
Coming up on Fact or Faked Paranormal Files.
Maybe this was a UFO.
Yes.
The Queen Mary is considered one of the most haunted locations in the world. Phantom.
There it is. It is moving.
It looks like two eyes.
Is anybody here with me?
This is an actual .50 caliber machine gun, the same type that was used in 1942. Three, two, one.
Ben, I still have an adrenaline rush.
So much fun. So, you remember the Battle of LA. Now, the only known photograph of the event depicts some type of object. Looks like a saucer shape that's sitting in the convergence of 8 spotlights.
Now, one of the theories is that the object in the sky is an optical illusion, what they're calling an artifact.
We took 8 high-powered spotlights, and they converged at about 2,000 feet in the sky.
And this is what that looked like.
There you go.
It did create somewhat of a slide artifact, but the beams passed straight on through the convergence point.
After our first test, we realized the searchlights in the original photo are illuminating the smoke from the explosions.
So this is the Battle of LA, right? We decided to create our own battle. We brought in 12-gauge shotguns and 40-millimeter grenade launchers shooting pyrotechnic shells.
Yes.
see, Ben and Devin definitely had quite a war. So seeing that with this test, we still had the problem with the beams going past the convergence point, we decided to test that this was just a weather balloon.
We floated an 8-foot weather balloon into the sky, fired at it, and we took another photo to see what it looked like.
Yeah, you did. Let's see it. Now, just the very fact that we're aiming these spotlights at the balloon made it very reflective. The smoke did a pretty good job of blocking off a lot more of those lights from passing through. So we decided, well, what if this was a weather balloon? How could a weather balloon stay in the sky after 1,440 rounds were shot at it?
So the only way to get an answer was to test it for ourselves.
So you guys, I timed how long it would take for the balloon to hit the ground once it was shot, and it took 3.7 seconds. Which means that even if the balloon was all the way up at 8,000 feet and it was hit, it would have taken a matter of minutes for it to come to the ground. It wouldn't have been a balloon with a hole in it, slowly deflating all the way down the coast.
If a weather balloon is that easy to shoot down, it calls into question the official Air Force report. You have all these highly trained soldiers, and they shoot off over 1,400 rounds, and there's no reports of debris. Maybe this was a UFO.
Which would be more than enough reason to cover the whole thing up. But there's another possibility. One of the other theories was that there was a barrage balloon. Now, these were big kind of blimp balloons, 100 feet sometimes in length, that was put over factories, so that if enemy aircraft came in, they'd get all tangled up in the balloon. It'd make it difficult for them to bomb. Now, there is some information that possibly one of these balloons got loose. This is what it looks like.
There's your big silver object right there.
That does make sense.
So Pearl Harbor just happened. The military is on high alert, and somebody mistakes a barrage balloon for an enemy aircraft.
The problem is, you guys, is that it's still just a big balloon. They should have been able to bring it down. That's a good point.
Well, I think you guys did an amazing job at showing what this photo was not. It was not an artifact, and it was not a weather balloon.
Right. I believe there was an object in the sky. Now, we ruled a lot of things out, but for all intents and purposes, it's still a mystery.